What is better for artists, the radio era, the mixtape era, or the streaming era?
I mean, I'm biased, so I'm finna say the mixtape era. Mm-hmm. But I'll say this. I say the mixtape era because the mixtape era was directly correlated to actual profit, real profit. Mm-hmm. You got 1,000 tapes you selling at $10 a pop. It's a win. Mm-hmm. That's undeniable. So, in terms of that, what it did was the mixtape era opened up an economy for the independents and for the majors that wanted to do things that the labels wouldn't let them do. If it was if their album was being worked on and it's not ready yet, but the artists feel like they hot as fish grease, they would give a record. They would give a record to a DJ, a couple freestyles to a DJ. Go ahead and leak it, and the DJ get to make money off of it. But you also, as the artist being signed, you get the recognition for being hot on the streets.
Now here's the flip side of that coin, and I'm, this is a conversation that me from not an industry dude to you, an industry dude. Did that hurt the artist at all? Because that a lot of times when those mixtapes were blown up, they were not considered projects that went towards contractual obligations. So did that hurt artists in a way? The mixtape era.
It definitely hurt artists that it didn't work in terms of promotional side. Like the mixtapes were supposed to be for a promotional purpose. It was used to be able to start a buzz that you wouldn't get approved for a promotional budget on a label. So you're going to start a buzz with your DJs. The problem with that is if a record gets hot and it's on fire, it may not be a record that's even cleared by the label. So that means that a lot of this promotion, a lot of things that's going on, you might get feature money or you might get some show money, but a lot of times that probably didn't count as an actual record towards your deal. So that means
I can understand as an artist, and you got that buzz from that. You blowing up, you want that to count, most definitely, and that would only bring them closer to the ending, but then the other side of their contract.
Right, but then the other side of it is now you're so hot and on fire, it's going to make the label make you priority as far as putting together what you got going a part of the label, because you can't be shelved if you're not on fire. You know what I'm saying? If you're not hot, they'll shelve you. So that was a good thing. 50 Cent, he was on a mixtape run even before he got signed. He was on fire. Everybody wanted to sign him. You see where it landed him. It landed him in a great position for him to express himself, but at the same time, he was getting money set of them tapes. DJ Drama, he helped out so.
But he also wasn't signed.
He wasn't signed. Right.
Extra to okay.
So I'm saying, let's take like DJ Drama, DJ Khaled, DJ Clue, Envy. These are all people that dropped tapes. They helped out. They did two things. They created an economy to where, because there was some times where DJs was like, hey, give me 4 or 5 songs. I'm going to mix some other records with it, and I'll give you half of the proceeds off this mixtape. That's a real thing. So it created an economy, but it also helped these artists do what they need to do, whether it was getting signed, whether it was getting hot, whether it was getting the hit record, whatever it was. On the other side of it, which we talked about, the streaming era is unique because the streaming era is more so of the long game type of thing. It's like if you have catalog and projects, you only really need to get hot one time and they can find everything you got. It wasn't like hand-to-hand combat where if you didn't service a certain city or a town, then you wouldn't get that type of money. Streaming is literally everywhere. All you got to do is get hot or be viral one time, and they're interested in finding out everything that you got going. You feel what I'm saying? That's a long-term thing. It is beneficial, but the ratio of people being successful is not as, in my opinion, is not as large as when the mixtape era was happening.
That's because you're only relying on going viral, pretty much.
Right. It's attention-based. The more attention you get, the more chances you have of people showing attention to your catalog. You know what I mean? I mean, still both sides, you got to be adamant about having a strategy that works. You know what I'm saying? You can't just get on there. Go ahead.
So did artists or do artists like the Decent Man? Did he manufacture his virality?
Well, I would
I
say
mean,
this.
not without, not with or without nefarious means. Just
Right.
did he make that pop like we talked about that he did, or was it
my
a viral moment?
in my opinion, I think for what it was, he definitely made it pop. Because if you give that same strategy that works to a record that's actually hot, it's over. It's over. I think Spin That is a representation of that.
Yeah, good example.
You know what I'm saying? That's a good representation of that. You get a record that actually works, that is great. It just so happens that, I mean, you can say that he's not all the way there. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But I think that adds to his resilience of not giving a fuck and putting something out and repeating it a bunch of times until you get used to it. It don't matter who you are. You can say you hate it. You can say you don't like it. You can say it's cool. You remember it.
I will say all of that about the next one that comes up to mind to me, not to break this down too much, but what was it? The moon one with Gunna. Gunna's something to the moon.
Yeah. Same thing. Yes. You remember everything about it.
Right.
That's important, but that's just one of the many strategies that these artists need to sit down in a room and figure out.
Yeah,
because that works. You know how many artists I've told, hey, you should do that strategy. The reason why they don't choose to do it is because it's attached to the person that they feel like don't have no good music. I'm like, dude, the strategy works if you have good records. Why don't you use it? Especially if you ain't got no real budget. Man, y'all bugging, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all be bugging, and then they want people
You're ready
to help
copy music at any time. You're ready to take inspiration from music at any time. You can't take no business.
You can't take it on business. That's crazy. Like I'm telling you, the first person who got a half a decent record that does that same exact thing is going to go viral, especially if it's a good music. You know what I mean? So yeah. But I'll take the mixtape era over. I mean, there was a point in time where I was selling mixtapes. I was adding like 1 or 2 songs from what we was doing. We was rapping onto the mixtapes at the end of it or between it. And I was getting money. Listen, I used to sell mixtapes, you know what I'm saying? East Coast style mixtapes out here on the West. I used to go to Sunset Boulevard, you know what I mean? Hollywood Boulevard. And I'm pitching them, I'm getting them off. So I was a part of that economic layout. I was
in 1993, I used to dub the Chronic and sell it at school.
Yeah, come on, man.
Like $150.
We sorry, y'all, but we gotta get that paper. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get that paper.